Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Yeah. Jesus.
Martial arts chat.
My man B-Hop got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Rhonda. Let's give me up.
See, you were telling me this. You've got a face for radio.
I've got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Martial Arts Chat podcast is sponsored by A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear uses
Martial
the
Arts
latest
Chat.
cutting-edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. Local and national gyms in the UK, do yourself a favour and check out a1fightgear.com. And if you're wanting to get into shape, get back into shape, then go to beastgear.co.uk. Use the coupon code MartialArtsChat to save 15% off your purchases. They've got core sliders, straps and barbell pads and complete strength and conditioning programs to suit your needs. We are also sponsored by Feel Supreme. FeelSupreme.co.uk offers CBD oil and natural nutrition. They will assist your progress in diet and lifestyle. Natural supplements and complementary services such as yoga, mind coaching and weight cutting programs. Finally, we are also sponsored by World of Martial Arts Television. WOMA.tv produces, finds, acquires, commissions and presents all you ever wanted to know about martial arts. Hello, my name's Chris Allen and this is the Martial Arts Chat podcast. Today I'm being honoured by being joined by one of the UK's finest, straight out of Scotland. It's Mr. Chris Duncan. Chris, how you doing, my friend?
Good, mate. How are you?
No, really good, and I really appreciate you coming on this evening. I know you're a busy man, but just looking at your record, you're a man that likes to keep active.
Yeah, man, it's part of the game. There's no point going away and fighting and then not doing it again for a couple of weeks. You get what I mean? I just want to get right back in there.
So what's your secret then? What's your secret to being able to stay active like all the time? You know, not having any injuries or anything like that?
I always have wee injuries and that, but I just love it so much. It's just in my blood and in my heart, you know. And if you want something that bad, you know, you'll always make the sacrifice to get in there. And the only problem with me is I need to make the weight, and I'm quite a big lightweight, so that's the only problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you're obviously quite large for the weight class, which isn't a bad thing at all. But when you do cut the weight, you don't look like you've really cut weight, if you know what I mean. You don't look really drawn and weathered. You actually still look healthy. Like, do you still feel like comfortable at that weight class?
I'm actually dying inside, but I look alright. Yeah. Nah, it's tough, but I always get there, and I do it professionally, so it doesn't really affect me. So,
well, to be fair, it's not as if your fights are going on for long enough to really notice, really, is it?
I know, but I'm sure they will soon. So hopefully get matched up ASAP and then get in there and then get another knockout.
Well, because seeing as you like to stay active so much, is that ever something that ever bothered, interested you? Like maybe moving up in weight class to take a fight on?
Oh well, it depends on the right matchup, you know. Like with welterweights and stuff like that, you know, it's not so much a weight thing. It's like a frame thing. They're a lot bigger, they're a lot taller, they're a lot longer. So I'm only 5'10", 5'11", so it all depends, you know. It just depends on the matchup. But I'm definitely a natural lightweight, and I can make that weight no problem. I just need to man up and not be a bitch about it.
Well, I said you don't look like weathered like some of the fighters we sometimes see who cut right down in weight. You know, really unhealthy. You're not exactly being carried off the scales, are you?
No, but I do struggle to make the weight because it's very tough, and to be competitive in your weight class, you need to be drawn out at that point. But don't get me wrong, it's not easy done, but it's done.
No, I bet. I'm going to say I can't exactly say I know what you're talking about. I know what it's like to go on a diet, but I don't know what it's like to cut weight like you fighters do, you know?
Yeah, it's tough.
So what's your sort of, like, if you don't like giving anything of your secrets away, what's your sort of regime? Do you have a nutritionist on board, or is it something you just learn?
Yeah, I always struggled with. I hate the fear of not knowing and not knowing where I should be and when I shouldn't be. So when I first started, I always asked for help and got a dietitian to help me out, and I feel that if it takes a wee bit of strain off me and I just need to focus on being a fighter rather than being a dietitian, it helps, you know. So always getting a professional to help you out is a massive part of it.
That's it. And do you recommend that to anyone, you know, who's trying to cut weight and things like that?
Definitely. If you take it seriously, you need to man up and just fork out the money. You know, I've always said that if you had £250 and somebody said, if you give me that £250, I can guarantee you'll win the fight, then you would give it to them, wouldn't you? So why wouldn't you do that for a nutritionist?
No, exactly. I think what a lot of people don't realise is when you're out there fighting, people think, oh, he's getting paid thousands and pounds or sometimes even millions for UFC fighters. Now they don't forget it's not all in pocket, is it? It's a lot of it has to pays for a lot of other things building up to the fight.
Yeah, I don't get paid thousands anyway.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, even if whatever you got paid, people don't.
Yeah.
People need to remember you are having to pay
if
off.
you put in the hours and then you put in the money, you would probably be on like £1 an hour or something like that.
No, that's it. But again, it's what drives you though is passion, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I love the sport and I love the way it keeps me focused and stuff like that as well. You know, so just got to keep ticking away until I get there. I've got a few guys to beat until a big show comes and swoops me up off my feet and starts paying me real money.
Well, you say a big show sweep you off your feet. You know, you did compete at Bellator. You know, that's
yeah, but
people,
they seem to be a bit funny about that now. They say they've not got any money to bring me in as a fighter, and maybe we'll bring you in if somebody pulls out. And I'm like, fucking hell, you either want me or you don't want me, mate. So it's a bit, but they're lost in their part. I'll find someone else.
Was that like was that just like a one fight contract sort of thing?
Yeah, it was just like I was brought in to lose. So like I was in Dublin, home crowd, Sam Slater. He had all his homeboys there, so I was brought in to lose. So I just went over there and knocked him out because I said that to my girlfriend that being over in Dublin and stuff like that, if I don't knock him out, it can go to the judges' scorecards and be wrong. So like they could just let him win. But I was not going to do that. I was always going out there to finish the fight.
That's it, and it must have felt that all set aside. Obviously, Bellator not offering other fights. So when you had that fight, first of all, how did it come around? How did it come around, like Bellator, the opportunity?
Well, my manager, I just recently got in tow with him, and he just phoned me up one night. He was like, "Mate, I've got this fight. Would you take it?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Well, I was actually meant to go over and fight over and train at SBG. I'd actually booked rooms and stuff like that, and I'd actually booked my training and flights and ferries, and I just sacked off all the money and just went for it and went for the fight rather than the training, and I ended up knocking him out. So win-win.
No, happy days, mate. No, and it's got to be great. And that Irish crowd is loud, eh?
Oh, it was good. I loved the boos coming from them. Yeah.
And do you know what? Actually, it's interesting what a lot of fighters say. It'd be good to hear your opinion, actually. Do you find it's less stressful fighting in foreign ground because you haven't got all the friends and family's eyes watching you, as such? Or do you
I don't really. Either way, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be the stress is on me regardless. I've got to go in there and perform. So I just got to go in there and do my thing, and I prepare my body and prepare for 5 rounds. You know, so anything that you're walking into there like scared of, like, oh, have I done these rounds or have I done my grappling rounds? And that's all in the back of your mind if you've not done them. And I do everything, and I do it to my full capability. So I'm never worried about, is my training going to let me down? Is my cardio going to let me down? So I just go out there and fight my fight.
That's it. You're definitely proving it in your fights at the moment. Very entertaining fighter. You know, five fights as pro, all finishes. Even your amateur career, you know, you're finishing people as well. You're picking up titles at amateur. And talking about obviously your last fight, you know, you picked up your first pro title. First of all, congratulations on that, mate. That was literally what? That was literally what? This month, wasn't last month? Beginning of last month?
Yeah, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, 4 weeks ago. But I forgot I was getting a title. They told me we could do it for a title if you want. And I was like, no problem. And I totally forgot. And then I won, and then they were standing, and then what's his face? The promotion came up to me and they were like, oh, and the lightweight title goes to, and I was like, I'm getting a belt.
Did you
so
really?
I forgot about it. It's just because I was so focused on like winning and getting the fight in, and it's just one of those things. Just keep it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then would you say that's one of one of your toughest fights to date as such. But you did have a tough amateur fight against Alexander O'Sullivan. You know, you did beat him obviously by court, but he was an experienced guy. But Leandro Souza, he was a quite experienced guy as well.
Yeah.
How much did you know about him before you even got in there?
I just knew he was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but see, at the end of the day, the fight that's in front of you is going to be your toughest one. It can never be like, oh, this is going to be my toughest fight to date, because MMA you can lose in that many different ways, like a choke, a punch, a slip, a DQ, a cut. You know what I mean? There's so many ways you can lose, so you've just got to take it in your stride. And if you're you're a mug if you think you're going to walk over somebody, and I never thought I was going to walk over that guy, regardless, because everybody's like, oh, he's a black belt, and I was like, doesn't really matter. Like, I train my black belts all the time. It's not MMA. It's not jiu-jitsu. Sorry, it's MMA we're doing. So MMA is my craft, and I was just ready for him. You know what I mean? So if he came, I actually thought about it. I could have took him down twice, but I didn't feel like I wanted to just risk anything. You know, rather than it being a 50-50, I just kept it in my favour, 60-40 when he was up against the cage.
Well, that must fill you full of excuse me. That must have filled you absolutely full of confidence, though. You know, you're on a massive win streak. You're beating this guy. As I said, you're not looking past people. And you went through him in the first round. You even forgot it was a title fight, as you said.
Yeah.
Which is it just shows how focused you really are. You know.
Yeah, I know exactly where I want to be and where I'm going, and it's just I've got tunnel vision for that. So I just need to keep working away, and like these things don't come to you just like on a plate. So I've got to keep putting the work in. Sometimes it's a bit frustrating because. Like everybody around about me is like, wow, when you get another fight and when you're going to get your break and all that, and it will eventually come. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing and not focus on that too much. Like a couple of times, when Bellator came up to me and they gave me the fight, I thought that was me, because they said if you win, you'll get a contract, and I ended up not getting a contract out of it. So that kind of put a wee bit of a dampener on my evening, but I thought that was me. You know, I thought that was me. People wanted me, and now I'm back to fighting on these weird shows. Don't get me wrong, I still like them, but I felt like that was my time, and now it's kind of past me again. So I've got a different motivation now. So.
Well, there's other organisations in the UK as well, you know, big organisations, and even some of these smaller ones now who are up and coming. You know, they're really investing a lot of money, and and as it's the fastest growing sport in the UK at the moment. I really think you've even already within the less than 2 years you've been on the pro scene. You've already started to make a name for yourself. Like, I'm not going to say any names, but I've mentioned your name to a couple of people who, you know, potentially really don't want to fight you. So you're definitely, I say not want to fight you as such, but maybe, you know, they know what you're all about. Let's say. Yeah,
definitely. People do know that, and there's been a couple of folk turned down fights with me and stuff like that just because it's too risky, because they know I pack some heat.
That's it. And with Bellator, like they are a massive organisation, and they are investing a lot of money in the European series at the moment. You know, European tour they're doing. So, if they did approach you again with something, is that something you would be interested again, or have they left still a bit of a sour taste?
You know, I've got my own path now. You know, it's like, if you didn't want me now, why you want me now? You know what I mean? Like, why, if you didn't want me then, why do you want me now? And then like, oh well, we didn't have any money for it, and like, well. If you're not quick to buy it in the shop, you don't get it. Do you know what I mean? If it's out of stock, like, you should have been quicker. You know what I mean? You should have saved up your pennies. So we'll see. Maybe it's put me in a good position. Maybe after another fight or two fights, I'm trying to get 2 in this year. Maybe the UFC come chapping and they'll have to fight over me, and then I start making some good money. Because at the end of the day, I don't do this for money, but money always helps, and money will help me evolve as a fighter as well. Because if I don't need to worry about paying bills or try to save up and for camps and stuff like that, if I don't need to worry about that, that's another stress off me, and that'll make me better as a fighter too. And then work could take a little bit of a setback as well, just to let me focus more on me rather than other people.
So focus on your training full time, sort of thing, you know.
Definitely, because I'm doing full time hours and I'm doing full time training. It's not great.
Your family as well?
Yeah, just me and my girlfriend. Girlfriend, no family, no kids.
Yeah, but still, still got responsibilities.
Yeah, definitely. There's things like bills to pay and stuff like that. What was I going to say there? I can't remember. I was working. Worked 40 hours last week, not including my training. Do you know what I mean? So it's a big week.
Well, if you're doing that, mate, well, if you're only training part time and doing what you're doing and also getting
No,
put
I'm
against
training full
people
time. I don't train part time.
well, I mean, not being able to train 8 hours a day as such, or maybe you do. Maybe you finish work at 6 and train till 2. I don't know.
I wish.
Well, go on then. Talk me through your day from getting up in the morning to getting home in the evening. What's a general day for you?
So today, Monday morning would be like a 6 o'clock start, and then I would. So I need to leave the house about 5:30. Then I get into work for 6, do a couple of clients, so I work maybe 6 till 10 or 6 till 11, depending on who's booked in, and then I train 11 till about 12:30, 1 o'clock, just doing some wrestling on a Monday, and then I'll go home, get some lunch, depending on who's in next, or if I have a client in at 2, I don't really get a sleep, but sometimes I get a quick half hour, and then I'll head back into the gym. I'll PT from about 3 till 6:30, and then 6:30 I'll have half an hour's break, and then I'll be back in for training again at 8 till 9. Then I'm home for some dinner and into my bed, and then I start it all over again on Tuesday. So it's a fair stint.
Yeah, man. But hey, you're getting the results out of it, and when you do get a chance to do more training all the time, when you don't have to worry about work and paying bills.
Definitely, mate.
It shows how much better you're really going to be. So, where are you training at the moment? Are you training between gyms with different disciplines, or what?
I train everywhere, mate. I train different disciplines, different gyms. I feel that I need to get. It's not like you need to stick with your gym and do this and do that. I need to better me, so I need to go to other places to get different things, and I get my wrestling with Robert Whiteford at MXP. I get my striking with my coach Adam, but then I need to go sparring elsewhere because I'm the only pro in my gym, so I don't really get hard rounds in there. Don't get me wrong, the guys have got good technique, but they don't train full time, so I don't get full time work out of them. Do you know what I mean? So I just need to go elsewhere for that. So
that's fair. And you train with the Hit Squad boys as well, yeah?
Yeah, bit back and forth, and I also train down in London at Brad Pickett's gym, stuff like that. I've just started going to higher level as well, just to get some sparring in and that. So it's just all coming together, and I just need to keep working away.
There's some good. I know there's definitely some good jiu-jitsu guys at the Hit Squad gym. I've spoken to a couple before. You've got UFC fighter Paul Craig. You've got Bungard there, Chris Bungard. You've got Godbeer. He likes to take the gloves off now. Man,
definitely.
And Craig, obviously, and Paul Craig, as you've seen in the UFC as well, was no joke with his ground game.
Oh, definitely.
So I bet it's good to be able to roll with such high-level guys like that as well.
It's good. Just and they're nice guys too, so that's all the better.
Have you ever been out with Craig or any of those boys to one of their big events in the US or anything like that?
No, I've never been out there. No, I'm not like that friendly with them. I just train with them. But yeah, they're very welcoming to their gym and stuff like that, and they appreciate me coming. They come through to me sometimes, so it works really well.
Well, it always helps as well. You never know when UFC are talking about things and they mention your name. It always helps. Having a name
definitely
in the UFC.
Definitely, man, definitely.
Not saying you need it. I'm saying, but it always helps.
Oh, definitely. It's always good to have those guys on your side.
That's it. Like you with the way, I think with the success that Bellator have had in Europe at the moment, I think UFC will be silly to ignore that, and I reckon they'll be doing something similar. And with Scottish MMA getting so big at the moment, like look at people like coming out of Scotland. You got Jojo Calderwood. She won again the other night over in Abu Dhabi.
Hopefully she gets a title fight soon.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be the Scottish champion. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so how does it feel to be part of like this ever-growing like sensation of fighters coming out of Scotland, small little Scotland?
It's good. As I say, we're like a small wee country, but we definitely pack some heat.
So where did it all start for you then? Like, because I know in the UK most of us get put into football and rugby and all that sort of stuff. So before MMA, like you started MMA, well, your amateur career started back in 2014. What were you doing? What were you doing before that?
I was playing rugby.
Yeah.
So I just played rugby, and then I went to do fighting to get fit for rugby, and then from there I just decided to keep going with it because it started. it was I just was good at it. I was always fighting, and I was fighting at school, so it just stuck with me, man. And I've just stuck with it since then.
But why? So what made you decide like to do MMA? Like before you answer that, actually, did you do any before doing MMA? Did you do any other disciplines like boxing or jiu-jitsu?
Yeah,
before?
I did kickboxing for a while,
Okay.
and then I transitioned into MMA after that. But I found my kind of home at MMA now. I like the kickboxing; it gave me a good base, but MMA is a kind of new home now.
How did you get on the kickboxing, if you mind me asking?
I did well. I think I had 6 or 7 fights. I think I only lost one, but it was kind of amateur stuff, you know. So it was good. It's good to get the feel of the ring and stuff like that. But same again, I was winning by knockout and stuff like that, so it was good.
And obviously that must have been very important in building your confidence at an early age. And do you believe that's really fed through to the confidence that you have now?
Yeah. It's just having the confidence in my training, and I know I always put the work in. So that's I kind of think where my confidence comes from, just knowing that I've done what I need to do.
Nice. So what drew you to MMA then? What actually made you think, do you know what, MMA? Did you see like any UFC on the TV, or obviously the boys in Scotland training?
Well, one of my pals, Scotty, was doing it whilst he was playing rugby, and it was kind of not the fashion, but like it seemed to be picking up really, really fast. So I just made that transition over from K1 to MMA.
How did you find that transition?
Very difficult. It took me about 3 years to be able to do one submission. I'm not very clever. I'm a bit gun-ho, so I didn't really find the jiu-jitsu gelled in very well with me, but I got there in the end. I stuck with it and persevered.
Well, you got yourself a submission win in your pro career, haven't you? You got yourself a guillotine win.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's it. But at the end of the day, that just shows people out there, even though people are scared of your stand-up and know you like to bang, they should also be worried about your ground game.
Well, I was punching the lights out of him, and he actually gave me the choke because he was wanting out there. I didn't actually squeeze it. He just ended up just tapping because he knew that was an easy road out. But I just try and put as much pressure on and try and make them break, you know.
Do you work a lot on your cardio then, just because you like? That's really, obviously, as you know, it's really important with a lot of fighters. Look at Bisping and people like that. You should keep putting that pressure on, like Diaz as well. Constant pressure.
Yeah, definitely. I'll always work that. It's just my style. It's always been my style.
Yeah, but that pressure though, a lot of people throw that pressure and keep it going for 3 rounds. You throw that pressure and end it by the first round. That's the difference.
Nice and quick. Go home and get pizza.
What do you eat after fight? If you win your fight,
pizza.
what is that? Where,
pizza.
Where from though? It's important.
Anywhere, somewhere dirty, somewhere horrible.
Yeah, somewhere where the grease is coming through the box.
Yeah, definitely. Someone's going to give me a sore stomach in the morning.
That's just a meat feast, mate. All that spicy pork
definitely.
And like processed beef and all that shit.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
Mate, well, that's fair play to you. So what are you eating leading up to the fights?
Oh, mate, there's loads of stuff.
Not pizza.
Not pizza, no. It's, I get a couple of cheap meals on that at the weekends, maybe a Nando's and stuff like that, but pretty self-explanatory. Diet's very simple, you know, you get proteins, fats and carbs just to keep you going, you know what I mean? And it's more like portion control and timings of food, really, that helps with an athlete. You know, an athlete always knows what's healthy and what's not healthy, but the timings of the foods and eating at the right times is very important.
No, that's it. A lot of people who bodybuild, I know, they weigh their food up. They eat it every 3 hours, you know. And one time, to be honest with you, I tried that out for like a few months. And to be honest with you, you're right. You do get the results a lot quicker than you would in like a year. Yeah, I was quite surprised actually. So yeah,
definitely
80% diet. Yeah, must be hard though, mate, because I like my food.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. I'm a big fatty at heart, so.
That's right, mate. It's our UK blood. It's all good. We like our deep fried food and
definitely, man.
Our fry-ups and breakfast and things like that, mate. 100%. I can hear plates clapping around the background. You having dinner at the moment?
No, my girlfriend's just making me dinner. I'm just sniffing at the now. I'm just getting ready to get tucked into that now. So.
Oh, mate. So sorry, I'm interrupting your dinner. How long is it till it's ready?
I'm not sure. Probably
all
soon.
Right.
Probably soon.
Let me know and I'll jump off so I can let you have your dinner, mate. I don't want to disturb you.
Oh no, just carry on and then we'll call it quits when you're done, man. It's cool, no hassle.
All right, cool, man. So what I was going to another thing I want to ask is you've obviously you've gone to a different or say you fought at quite a different few organisations, so you're not someone who likes to stay inside their comfort zone. You're quite happy to go out there, outside
Yep.
your comfort zone, and just venture out. You don't care who the fighters are half the time. You're very happy to fight whoever.
Yeah.
Which organisation do you feel, first of all, you've learnt the most
UFC.
from and had? No.
I want to go to the UFC.
Wasn't the question I was going to ask about, but yeah, of course, UFC. But which organisation to date have you learnt? Have you felt you've learnt the most from, and had the best experience, or the most I'd say best experience, most learning experience?
Every fight has given me something that I can take away home to learn about. That last fight at UFL, I felt the best I've ever felt. I felt I was switched on. I took everything in from the room. I very rarely pay attention to what's happening outside the cage, and when I get into the cage, it feels a bit erratic and it feels a bit like 100 miles an hour. But that time, I managed to keep calm, collective. I was ready. I was loose. But in Bellator, I felt the heat from the stage and stuff like that. So I felt the nerves, and I was trying to control the nerves. So I think every fight has had its place, and I think I just need to keep fighting and get that ring time in, and it will help me get less nervous and less scared and less anxious. But I'll always be scared and I'll always be anxious, I think. But I think practice makes perfect.
Yeah, it's always good to be a little bit anxious, of course. You want to be a bit weary. You don't want to go running in there, guns blazing. You want to be worried what the other opponent's doing, and that's probably important to have a little bit of that in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Being too confident, isn't always the best way unless you're Colby Covington. He's a super confident guy, and he seems to put it off, even if he does drive me up the wall.
Oh, it's fucking horrific.
Yeah, it's not just me then. God.
Yeah, it's cringy, innit? It's cringy.
It's WWE stuff, isn't it? But anyway.
Yeah, man. Anyway, no.
That wise. I don't want to talk about him anyway. He gets enough publicity. Not that I'm not neutral or anything like that as a journalist. Yeah. It's fine. But anyway, moving on. So you've learned something from all those organisations. You fought at big events like Bellator, and it shows in your last event how calm and collective you were, and you knew exactly what the word I'm looking for is. You concentrated a lot on what you were doing. I think you learned a lot from your Bellator fight. How to stay calm, and you're thinking, well, this is smaller than Bellator, so it really seems like you focused. Big organisations, like you shouted out you want to fight in the UFC. Obviously, that is the dream. Have you ever thought before, if UFC doesn't come as soon as you'd like it to, something like you got Cage Warriors, okay, who have got good ties with the UFC. They've got ties with UFC Fight Pass, and people can move on from there. Is that something you've been interested in?
I would. I don't know, man. They've got these contracts, and a lot of guys I know that I've been training with and stuff like that say they're kind of stuck with them now, and they're pushed into these fights and they're not getting paid enough, and it doesn't seem like it's my only option. But if the time is right and the fight's right, I would maybe go there, but I don't think I need them as such. It would be good to have them on my side, but I think I'm too far into my career to start with them. Do you know what I mean? I'd need to go in there and fight twice and fight for the title. Do you know what I mean? And I feel that would be only a worthy opponent. But it's nothing to do with the actual promotion itself. I think they're great and they do a lot of great stuff for young fighters, but I just feel like it's maybe not the right move for me.
No, and you've got to do what's right for you, and as I said, it shows in your record you are doing what's the best thing that's correct for you. And I'm not saying that you're picking your fighters, you're going to these different organisations because I'm guessing you're getting the best offers.
Yeah, and I'm also getting paid a bit better too. Like my manager's really looking out for me and trying to get me paid as much money as I possibly can, so I can fund my training and not need to worry about these things. If I can concentrate on myself, it takes a lot of strain off my training and not worrying about coaches and stuff like that as well. No,
that's it. It must be such a relief off your shoulders not to have to worry about that, and all you can think about is like, right, what am I training today?
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously attend more shows as well. But how do you work? What's a work relationship like? How does your work feel about you fighting and things like that? Are they
I'm self-employed. I'm a PT,
so
I'm quite bad for cancelling clients if I need to train. So, I'll not cancel a client just for the sake of cancelling a client. But if I get the opportunity to train with someone or get training instead of that, I would always cancel the client, and they know that. So I think the clients that I've got are good, and they understand where I want to go and where I want to be. So I'm really appreciative of them sticking with me, but they do know that sometimes I'll cancel to go, for instance, down to London or down to Inverness to spar with Ross Houston and stuff like that. So they're good. They help me out and I help them out.
Yeah. You spar with Ross Houston, do you? Didn't know
Yeah,
that,
I spar Ross Houston all the time. He's injured now, but he's got a broken hand and a broken nose, I think. So
yeah, I was there. I was actually standing literally a foot away from him at Cage Warriors. I saw it all. Yeah, I was.
You can't have many of those fights, can you?
Oh mate, I was in the press row, mate, and I was just
loving it.
Oh mate, what was your thoughts on that? Like, have you ever seen anything like that ever?
I've not seen as much blood like that ever, but Mark Goddard made the right decision because the competition wasn't suitable. You know what I mean? They couldn't compete. They couldn't compete against each other. They couldn't do anything. So he definitely made the right decision for that.
No, that was so crazy. I've got a picture on my profile. I've actually got with both of them still both holding their titles, and
yeah, I've seen that.
and throughout the interviews we had with them, there's just bit of blood going down Dalby's head, you know, like, slowly going down, and Houston sitting there drinking his beer, and it's just getting red. Every sip he takes, it's just more blood than beer.
Christ.
Lovely guys though, man. Lovely guys.
Definitely.
So, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Cage Warriors, man. They have some wars in Cage Warriors. There's some warriors like Dalby's gone over there now. He's gone over to UFC.
Yeah,
Jack Shaw's gone over to UFC fight now as well.
Yeah. They got a tough fight.
Yeah, they're not going to chuck someone too easy at you, I don't think. If you're going over there straight away, but chance of a lifetime. But as I said, they're always coming to Glasgow, UFC, stuff like that.
Hopefully that comes up soon.
Yeah, exactly, and that's definitely something. Well, it's going to be hard to ignore you soon enough, you know, especially if they're going to be approaching people like Paul Craig to definitely fight on those cards and Jojo. They're going to be asking, right, well, who do you know, like local lads who really deserve a shot? And that's when guys like you really have the opportunity to jump in there and just show what you can do and show.
Definitely.
Yeah. And is that something you're aiming for next?
110%.
Of course. And,
there is no doubt in my mind. I could have asked you that question. You could have told me what I would have wanted. Everybody knows exactly what I want.
That's it. And I'm not asking you to call anyone out, but is there anyone in the UFC you'd love to fight, you know, who you think would really show your skill and what you can do to show your mate to be there?
I'd love to fight Donald Cerrone. That would be my fight. that would be my fight, wouldn't it? Not the fact that I'd like to batter him or that, but he's like a role model. He's like a guy that I've always seen and liked his style, so it would be great for me to get in and bang with him.
Yeah, he's got a fight coming up soon actually, but for the life of me I cannot remember who it is.
Justin Gaethje.
That's it. That's going to be a war, that fight.
That's going to be a good fight, man.
Yeah, that's the sort of fight you want to see. You know? Mate, I used to have a Donald Cerrone like Sky Plus controller sticker, you know, that went over the front of it. It was a bit sad, I know, but do you remember Cerrone back in the WEC days?
Yeah, man, it was good, man. I've always watched him.
Yeah, you can't. It's just always been such a great fight to watch. And one thing I recommend you should listen to on Joe Rogan's podcast. Have you seen when he went on there and spoke about when he went deep sea diving and got lost?
Yeah, and he nearly died and shit like that.
Oh man, that's crazy, isn't it? I felt sick
mental,
just listening to it.
Crazy.
But what I was going to say about that Ross Houston fight is though, is like, when was the last time you ever saw a fight stopped because of just too much blood and not being able to... No.
You've not.
It literally has to be the first time we've ever seen that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Well, Donald Cerrone, if you're out there, be careful, you know, because Duncan is out there.
Duncan's looking.
Well, he has his own fight series in the States at the moment. You should try and reach out to him to jump on that in the States.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, it's
What's
Cowboy.
it called?
I think it's called Cowboy Fight Series. I think it's called. Yeah, it's his own promotion.
I might message him.
Yeah, just send him a message. I'll fly myself over. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's it, Chris. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. I can hear in the background the old dinner's getting ready very soon. So before I let you go, I just want to give you the opportunity to give a shout out to anyone who helped you get to where you are today. Any sponsors and gym partners, things like that.
Yeah, well, all my training partners, MXP, and my coach Adam Stevenson, they're always a great help to me, and they're always there for me right when I need it. All my sponsors as well, like Flora Fusion, Fawn and Farm, the Vitamin Shop in Stirling. I'm trying to think who else. Let me have a think here. Trying to think about RG Autotech, Graham Beveridge. He was my first ever sponsor, and he's been with me all the way.
That's it.
Who else? Let me think here. I hate doing this because I always miss somebody out. You guys always put me in the spot with
Sorry, man.
Who else? There's somebody I'm missing.
If you're missing someone, we forget, just tell me and I'll make sure we tag their page on the post we put it out.
I said about the shop. My girlfriend's trying to help me.
That's right, that's what they're here for. They're helping us with stuff like this.
Yeah, I think that's it. And where I am today, Chris Megan as well, he does my tattoo. He does all my tattoos and helps me out with some training gear and stuff like that now and again, and getting to different countries to train, so I really appreciate that too. But Blair Craig, he helped me, and Matthew Morrissey helped me, and RLC Travel Limited, they all helped me too. Big shout out to all them too.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Just quickly,
Perfect.
sorry to keep you for so long. You said what country you trained in, by the way?
I've been to Thailand. A couple of times we went to Tiger Muay Thai. London, that's not another country obviously, but I'm hoping to go to America for this camp if I get fights soon sorted, so if not, I'll go to Thailand again. We'll see.
Good stuff, mate. Nice to hear you
Perfect.
get to travel the world. Well, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it.
No problem, mate. Anytime. Speak to you soon.
No, thanks again. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
If you've liked this podcast, be sure to subscribe on iTunes. We're live every Sundays at 8:30pm talking MMA. Go to facebook.com/martial arts chat, give us a like there, and follow us on Twitter @martial arts chat.